in the wake of yet another mass shooting that has garnered national attention. There are constant mass shootings, but another one that prompted a national conversation. Florida Republicans are taking an absurd and backwards action in this moment. It is just so backwards, as I said. We're going to get to it. But as many of us watch the gun violence that is occurring, observe the reality that is going on day after day in the United States, we understand one of the ways, not the only way, but one of the major ways, crucial ways to decrease gun violence is to focus on the gun itself and regulate the gun more responsibly. Florida Republicans are taking the exact opposite action. Here from WPTV. Gun owners in Florida will now be able to carry firearms without a permit. Governor Ron DeSantis signed HB 543, which was part of a public safety bill, into law during a private ceremony Monday morning. The GOP has said they're trying to eliminate a government permission slip for legal gun owners. The bill was wrapped in public safety measures that aim to bolster school security. Among its various provisions is an expansion of the Guardian program to private schools, better active shooter training for law enforcement, plus improved threat information sharing between schooling districts, which those things are good, but to include the loosening of your gun laws is just so wrong. And this will create a reality in the state of Florida where those who want to go around with a concealed weapon won't have to apply for a permit, won't have to have their background checked, and won't have to take an instructional course. You can just walk around in public with a weapon on you and not have any permit, any background check, or have been trained whatsoever. What are we talking about? Just the exact opposite of the direction that we should be going when it comes to regulating guns. And quickly to take a look at some of the research on this. A new study by researchers at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health found that the average rate of assaults with firearms increased an average of 9.5% relative to forecasted trends in the first 10 years after 34 states relaxed restrictions on civilians carrying concealed firearms in public. But facts don't matter to many of those pushing for these policies. And a specific example of this, as Scientific American writes, science points to laws that would work to reduce shootings, to lower death. Among the simplest would be better permitting laws with fewer loopholes. When Missouri repealed its permit law, gun-related killings increased by 25%. Of course, you saturate communities with more guns that are less regulated, you're gonna see more gun violence and you're gonna see more death. But time and time again, Republicans nationally and at the state level just sprint in the opposite direction as of the reasonable position. And I just can't get my head around it. Just to include in this segment, Democratic Representative Ted Lieu appeared on MSNBC and pointed out something that Republicans did recently that highlights somewhere in their mind, they recognize, of course, the guns and the regulation of the guns are part of the equation in gun violence. Absolutely. And Ted Lieu highlights this point very, very nicely. Take a look at this.
I do want to pick up on something that we saw, which is they canceled this event they were going to have because of the shooting. Well, but why would they do that? If they honestly believe, right, giving more guns to more people makes America safer, they would defend that position. So in Congress, we had a hearing in Judiciary, a markup on a bill to basically give more people pistol braces to make AR-15s more lethal. The Republicans canceled that hearing because of the shooting. But why would they do that? Because if they believe more people having more AR-15s is a solution, they would have had the hearing, defended their position, except they were cowards and they ran.
Yep. And so what he's talking about, as he just outlined there, is they were going to be in a position where they'd have to advocate for their more guns, less regulated position. And after the mass shooting, they canceled that, or at least delayed it. But if you actually believe more guns that are less regulated make people more safe, then why would you do that? Why would you at all think that's bad, to go ahead and advocate for that position during this congressional hearing or whatever it was, markup? So if you know it, then why do you keep going the opposite direction of what is going to help people and protect people's lives? This issue just disturbs me for what it means about the people who are pushing for these positions. It genuinely disturbs me because we are watching children and people of all ages die at the hands of these weapons that we could save if we just would implement more reasonable laws, as every other developed country has done.